Welcome, welcome, welcome everyone. This is Tracy Wagner with Versatile Inspirations, and today we're going to be doing something a little different. If you joined me live earlier, we were doing the 2018 forecast party, and we delved into what we can expect through the cards for 2018 each month. I'm just going to go ahead and recap kind of what we did, and then you can work on it on your own. I would love to hear what you come up for a general or for your personal reading for 2018. So the cards that I've used today are the Shadowscape cards. They are, I'll show you the front of the book. Beautiful card deck. It's by Stephanie Pui Moon Law and Barbara Moore, and it's just a wonderful deck. For 2018, today is January 2nd, so yesterday, January 1st, we were blessed with a full moon. Not only a full moon, but a full supermoon. So the cards that I used were under the lunar rays, and they just absorbed all that beautiful, powerful energy and were cleansed and ready to go. So what I did was I went through each month and I drew a card. And I do it maybe a little differently than you, but how I pick my cards, I go ahead and take the deck fully in one hand, and even though they were under the lunar rays, I did do a reading on the 31st, and so I want to just cleanse them even more so from that. And so I just wrap on the back of the cards 3 times and just kind of swish that energy away. Then I turn it over to the front side of the cards and do wrap on it again and just kind of blow the energy away. So to me, that they are completely cleansed and ready for a reading. So before I start shuffling the cards, I go ahead and just say a general reading for January of 2018, and then I shuffle them. Then I actually cut them again and say general reading for January of 2018, shuffle it again, and one last time. Mine are, I usually always do things in 3s that way. And so that is one last time, general reading for 2018. And then from there, I just go through and I pick the card that is called to me. I kind of just go through and see how that one just kind of jumped out. That is the one I would have picked for the January reading. So let's just kind of take a quick peek. It was the 9 of Swords. And I'll look at that later. But then I'll just pick them. The interesting thing about the reading that we just got done doing was that the first 6 months seemed to be a little more we're needing to be more self-aware of a mask that we may put on or a demeanor we may be showing that isn't what we're truly feeling. I'll go through the cards and kind of let you know what they were, but it was a very interesting reading. Starting in June of 2018 and going through most of the rest of the year, it was celebrating that you have removed that mask and you're delving into your true self and you're showing that more, whether it's from change or from a loss or anything. The fact of the matter was we are who we are, and we should feel comfortable in our own skin and who we are. And one other thing that I noticed was the ability to find an energetic match, an energetic safe space, I guess you would say, for us to be able to show that true self. Now, it could be in the form of a coven. It could be in the form of a church. It could be in the form of a spiritual group. It could be in the form of an online group. It could be in the form of your work. It could be in the form of your family, or it could be in the form of going and having counseling or any kind of therapeutic service. Just that energetic, safe feeling where you can take off those masks and be who you truly are. That is the point of the beginning of 2018, it looks like. So that being said, let me get started to I'm going to run through the cards real quick of what I chose. And I'd love to hear what you chose and what you got, because it's very interesting how certain things kind of come up. So the first one was Ace of Cups. Oops, that's a wrong month. Let's get there. There we go. Ace of Cups. And there we go. All the little fishies with the cup there. And it was about more deeper intimacy, that you may experience a deeper set of intimate partners, and I didn't really get the fact that it was a sexual thing. I felt it was more of that connection, that intimate connection that you would feel with someone, whether it's a partner or a spouse or a best friend, somebody or a group of somebody's that you can share your deepest, most intimate feelings. If you've experienced a loss, like I have, the last part of December was kind of hard for us because we lost our 14-year-old golden princess, and she's back in spirit with everyone else that has transitioned back into spirit. Her soul self and her spirit self have reconnected. So I'm joyful of that, but in a physical, energetic sense, I've lost that spark, that energy that was with me, especially who was a constant companion when I was writing my book. So there's that disconnect. But someone who I could share that experience with was my husband, and people also that have lost their pets as well. They felt they knew what I was feeling. And so I was able to take that mask off of everything was okay and share the sadness and the heartache that I experienced on a kind of a selfish plane, because she's all good and fine back in spirit. But here on earth, I felt that absence. So being able to share that intimate feeling with someone or someone's was important to me. So I'm still experiencing that. People are still contacting me, and it's lovely to be able to share that with people and to get that emotional support. So it does feel like a very deep, intimate relationship, even if you don't really know that person. It's something that you share that is like-minded. So let's go to February. Okay, so this was the Eight of Swords. Let's see. Eight of Swords in protective or reverse state. I call it protective state. Some people call it blockage. I don't like that. I just think of it as a protective, because in reverse, what we're really doing is the universe is saying, hey, you might want to watch out for this, and protecting us from that. So with the Eight of Swords, what I found is that this is where we come into the mask situation. What we're needing to do is we are needing to realize that we can rely on ourselves. We can rely on ourselves to get us out of danger. We can rely on ourselves to feel better. We can rely on ourselves for a lot of things. We don't need to wait for someone to ride in on a white horse and rescue us. We don't need rescuing. What we need is to realize that we can rely on ourselves. Now, just because we rely on ourselves doesn't mean that we need to disconnect from other people. No, not at all. But what we need to realize is that we can rely on ourselves to find those people, like I did, find those people that have experienced loss in the way that I had, and talk with them. Not that just because I'm experiencing loss, I'm expecting people to come to me. That's not what that's not what it's asking. What it's asking is for us to rely on ourselves, no matter what it is. For me, it may be that because as we go into February, I may feel a little more lonely or secluded because of the absence of Titian, our golden princess. And so what I need to do is I need to rely on myself, not only to make myself happier, but to also rely on myself to realize when I need help and to go and find it. I don't need to rely on someone else to come and pick me up and make everything okay, because I can do it myself. Alrighty, so let's go into March. March was Four of Wands. There we go. Four of Wands in the protective state. And this again is going into the mask situation, and it's saying that there's a fear of change, that we're putting on these masks and showing people a different side of ourselves. And what I attributed it towards and kind of shared a story about was when the last year that I own my day spa, my salon and day spa, I was in so much pain that I could barely do my job. Barely. It was just by grace that I was able to do my job. I put on a happy face every day. No one knew what was going on. Everybody thought everything was peachy keen and all good. But the fact of the matter is that was a mask. That was a total mask, and people didn't realize what was going on until the last month that I owned the salon. After I'd sold the salon, after I had already made arrangements for healing, for possible healing. I didn't know if it would work. I was scared. I was scared of the change. I was scared of maybe not being able to live a full and complete life. I was really worried about that. Not only that on a physical sense, but on an emotional and mental sense, I was worried for my clients. I was worried for them realizing that I wasn't 100%. So it was a trying time. But what I realized was I needed to take that mask off. I needed to let people know what was truly happening. And honestly, some people didn't believe me whatsoever. They thought I was making it up, that I was lying, that something else was going on. But there was a lot of people, especially the people that I work with, that knew me, that knew that something big was up. So taking off the mask, you may have to deal with people that may not believe you, but that's only because we've been wearing the mask for so long that it just seems like a complete and total disconnect from what they know. But you're also gonna be able to, once you take that mask off and you just allow people in, to let them know what's going on, and they deserve that. They deserve, especially when your coworkers and people that you're working with, it's a disservice to not let people know that you may be more emotional. You may be a little down. Your energy may not be as it is. And to let them know that they're able to offer you that energy to be able to be you, to be able to heal in your way, but also they're going to be sensitive to maybe what you may need, or what if something else is going awry for you. So it's taking that mask off. That's what I really got from this message. Taking that mask off and allowing people to see that maybe you fear change, maybe you've experienced a loss, and then allowing that, and little by little, it'll be easier. Trust me, as somebody who's a person who has done that for quite a bit of her years, it's hard, but that's what this year is actually asking us to do. We need to take off those masks and truly just grab onto who we are, because we are what the world needs. The world needs our particular gifts, our messages, and we're the only ones who can deliver it. And by standing up and standing firm in who we are and being able to show those emotions, we're human beings, we have emotions, and by showing those, good, bad, or indifferent, then we are actually doing even more to help the world and help ourselves to just live the day-to-day and be able to accept and appreciate everyone for who they are, truly. So for April, this one was actually interesting, because for April, I had a really hard time. I had to go through quite a few ways in which to pick a card, because no cards were coming. It was very sticky. They weren't coming apart. They were kind of stuck together. And it was this card, and there's a particular reason for that. I mean, the universe has our back, and they're telling us exactly what we need to know. It is the Six of Pentacles in the protective state. And so with that, whether we've gone through a loss or we've gone through a change, even though it may feel hard, it may feel heavy, there's a lot to gain from that. There's a lot to gain from those experiences. And when we allow ourselves to take that mask off and to live in our true purpose and to live our soul's purpose, then we are standing firm with who we are, and other people are able to see it as well. And when we do it, it shows that other people are okay to do it as well. And the gains that we can get from that are just astronomical. It is one thing for us to witness when we go through change or when we go through a loss, but when we open it up to where other people can see that as well, and see how we are still acknowledging ourselves and relying on ourselves, but allowing the energy of others to incorporate into that, you're opening it up for other people to do that as well. And that is truly an amazing thing. So that was a fabulous card to go right after that May one, or that March one. So for May of 2018, it is the Seven of Swords. Now with this Seven of Swords, it's kind of a heavy and sad card. When we start to take the masks off, what happens is it's almost like an avoidance. We avoid the truth. We're avoiding really delving deep with people to show people who we truly are. It's easier to stand back and see what people think of us and then to give people that impression, but you're avoiding the truth. You're avoiding who you truly are. So you're almost like you're deceiving yourself. It's a self-deception. When you put that mask up, it's a self-deception. You're not allowing yourself. You're not okay with who you truly are, who you are inside. And so it's a deception that you're showing. And with that, what why we got this card is because the universe is saying, now, wait a minute, look at all of those months that we've been working on taking those masks off, being self-assured, realizing that you're the one that's going to ride in the white horse for yourself. Self-acceptance, self-love, you're the one that you can rely on. And not just because of that you have to rely on just yourself, but relying on yourself to know when you need help, when you want to go into someone else's energy path that maybe they have a stronger or a not stronger, but a more sympathetic energy to what you're going through. So like a counselor or a best friend or even coworkers that you know have experienced the same thing. Knowing when to do that, that is all part of getting rid of that self-deception or that avoidance of truth. The truth is that we do need each other, that we're all connected by this beautiful energy, and we can't block each other off. We need to be able to accept. Now, do we have to accept everybody into our energy? Not while we're on Earth, that's for sure. Because we actually, some people, you know, we're not meant to necessarily correlate with all the time. Doesn't mean that they're bad people. Doesn't mean that we're bad people. It just means that we're here for so many days during this Earth experience, and we're trying to get as much as possible from it, which includes being in the same circles with the people that you that love you, that you love to be in, and accepting that. And with that, you are able to just not be self-deceptive. You are able to witness that, to get those gut feelings that, you know, this isn't right for me, but this is right for me. And going into those situations that are going to be of your highest and best good. That's what the universe wants for you, always. So starting in June, like I said, things change. It's a big drastic change, because by that point, we are understanding who we are. We're understanding what our gifts and talents are, what our messages are, and we are ready to go out into the world. So with that, there is a completion, which is that completion of us removing the masks and being able to just joyously state who we are, what we believe, what our goals, dreams, wishes, and desires are, and going for that. And it's okay. The world is ready and willing to accept that. And there's a freedom from the fear of doing just that. You've taken off the mask, and that last month where we really had to delve deep and get rid of that self-deception, now we're free of that. We're free from that feeling like we have to have that mask up and for anybody to appreciate us, to love us, to accept us. That's not true. Take that mask down. We are who we are, and people will love you no matter what. And that's how that is. And if they don't, then they can go find someone else to be with. So for June, the world is your oyster. That is for sure. Okay, so in July of 2018, it is justice. I will tell you what, this is the first year that I've done my reading that I got so many major arcana cards. I'm not exactly sure what happened, and I swear, if you were live with me, you saw me shuffling and clearing and everything else, and for some reason, all these came up. But the justice is all about harmony. The scales now are in balance. You should feel light. You should feel like you are pretty much skating along on a smooth surface. You should feel like all the work that you've done in the first 6 months of 2018 are coming to fruition. You can sit back and let the manifestations occur. The law of attraction happens. You are able to see where you're gifts, your messages, your talents are all just being able to be shared with the world, and it is with the world like last month, and it is just you opening up as your true self, and those people that are meant to find you and hear all of your gifts and messages and talents, they're going to be there. So that is for July. And then let's see. So here's August. And August, it's a little bit of a flashback. It's the Tower card. Now, the interesting thing with the Tower card is that we personally aren't seeing what we need to see. So what we need to acknowledge is that what we see is true. And I have a feeling it is just a flashback to the first 6 months, because if you think about it, you've probably had these masks for a long time. And so flashbacks or these going back to the old ways is totally normal. It takes a while for habits to form. It also takes a while for you to be able to fully and completely leave that deception. And really, it's a deception for yourself. You don't need to hide behind masks. It may be easier, and a lot of times it's just a quick fix to a situation. It's just, you know, oh, if I just smile through it, then, you know, I'll get through it. Well, the fact is you have emotions, and even though you smile now, inside your heart might be breaking. You may have a hole in your heart just, you know, from energy that may have passed, or whatever, or you may be experiencing so much change, which even taking those masks off causes that feeling of change and anxiety. But what we need to do is we need to see it, acknowledge it, and work through it. Just work through it. Realize this is going to be work. It just really is. But you're working on yourself, and it's so freeing and refreshing to know that on the other side of this is your complete and total self-love of yourself. And when you have self-love, other people can love you as well. And other people can love you as the true being that you are, not a fake or a phony or this mask that may be have been shown to other people, but as who you truly are. And it's so beautiful. Things just happen when you are and acknowledge who you are, and you allow yourself to be that person. It's just amazing. So we may go back a little bit to that, but just by being aware, you're going to work through it just so much easier. All right. So then, of course, just that little bit of break, and then we end up with the star. The star is such a beautiful card. I love it. You might not be able to see it too well, and I apologize for that. There's a lot of sun, even though it's freezing outside. The star is inspiration. It is truth revealed. It is all of those things that you've been working so hard. Now you can give yourself a pat on the back, take a deep breath, and say, I'm doing it. I'm doing this for myself. This is the truth. This is my truth. This is heck to everybody else. This is my truth. And so for your truth, you're going to be inspired to continue down your path, to continue to take those masks off, to continue to show your truth, to continue to show your gifts, your talents, your messages, even more. And it's just a beautiful time to just grasp onto that and just move forward with it. So let us see. That was September. Okay, so for October, it is the Lovers in the protective state. So the Lovers in the protective state. So, interestingly enough, the lovers a lot of times is about, a lot of people think it's about lovers. It's about your significant other, your partner, your spouse, or someone new that may come in. Now, when I got this card, I was like, well, yeah, you could take it that way. One, it's in the protective state, so it's a little bit different. But when I really thought about it, to go along with the theme that has been going through the whole rest of 2018, I just looked at it as, if it was in the right upright position, it would have been for the lovers. But now in the protective state, I'm thinking it's about self-love. It's about loving ourselves enough to see who we truly are, loving that unconditionally. And with that, realizing, are we getting what we need? Are we receiving those things that we need on a love basis? Not only from ourselves, but are we experiencing what we expect from love? I truly believe it's more of a self-love, because the more we give ourselves self-love, the more we realize that we're good people. We're a good person. We truly deserve good in our life. And when we do that, the masks come off and we're able to give as well as receive. And so when that happens, it is a complete cycle. It's not about putting up a mask and giving what someone else is expecting from us. It's about tearing down those masks and taking them off and allowing that complete cycle of giving and receiving, of giving and receiving. Now, is it always 50-50? No, not usually. Usually it's whatever it is, 60-40, 80-20. It's, so it's different depending on the situation, but it's better than 0 and 100. Putting up a mask and giving out 100% and not receiving. Because if the person doesn't know who we are, they don't know what to give to us. They don't know what energy we need. But when we take down those masks and we allow self-love to happen, we're allowing the ability to, for that flow, for people to know who we are and to receive some of what we may need. Caregivers are big on that. I think caregivers really need to acknowledge their self-care, to really love themselves, and to allow for receiving. And we're all called to be caregivers at some point or another. It doesn't matter if it's for caring for our spouse, caring for animals, caring for loved ones, or even if we're a nurse or a counselor or anything. That self-care and self-love a lot of times is absent, and we really need to get back to that self-love and self-care. And then we're allowing for the mask to come down and for other people to see what we need and to be able to exchange energy in the way it was meant to be exchanged. So that's the lovers for October. That I think it is. So for November, let's see. Oh, there it is. It is the Hierophant. Wish I can make these a little. Oh, look at that. Oh, there he is. Isn't he? He's kind of cute though. Okay, so what the Hierophant is all about is knowledge and education and being wise. Because we've worked so hard on ourselves this year, you may be called to teach about it. You may be called to to talk about it. You may be called on just to give your advice on how you went through it and what you experienced and how someone else may be able to do it. So don't be surprised if you find that this may be part of your soul's journey and your soul's purpose here on life is to actually teach it, to teach what you've been living all year. And, you know, and it probably isn't just all of 2018. It's probably something that you've experienced doing over and over again your entire life. And you may be called to actually teach that. So just be aware. So for December, it was very interesting. The last one is the Queen of Wands in the protective state. So it's very much about the feminine, about female. And what I really took from it is that because of all of the work again that we've been doing, and last month with maybe being asked to teach that, what you've been doing or something else along your soul's journey, you personally may be looking for a mentor that is very feminine, someone who can give you that feminine energy that you may need, someone that you may feel has that feminine quality that you want to incorporate into your life or your purpose, or you may be called upon to be that feminine mentor. Even if you're a man, you may have that feminine quality that someone else needs in their life. That feminine quality, we have both. We have yin and yang within us. And that feminine quality is needed in December, it looks like, of 2018. So either you're going to look for a mentor that has that feminine quality, and because of all the work that you've been doing, it's a good time to get that energetic flow that is going to be beneficial, that's going to be of a higher level, something that is going to continue that momentum of you having self-love and self-acceptance, tearing away of the masks and putting forth who you truly are. And there again, you may be asked to do that in reverse. You may be asked to be doing that for someone else, to holding space for them to acknowledge their feminine qualities even more so, to allow themselves to have self-love, to receive the help that they need, or just raising the energy level for someone and holding that space for them in order for them to be able to do the same work that you've done. So that is the 2018 that was revealed when we did our 2018 forecast party. So I hope you enjoyed it. I would love to hear what you received. If you did a reading for yourself or for someone else, I'd love to hear what you received and what you think that 2018 is going to be all about. I look forward to spending so many more moments with you this year. This is just the beginning. Take care, have a wonderful day, and as always, I'm sending you and yours love, light, and eternal blessings. Take care.